just a few. And some of the things that I'm going to mention tonight are also shared in Maria's written report that's in the packet, but the water line projects, they're moving right along. Up on Commercial Street, we've run into some issues up there, especially in the last 24 hours. There's a low water bridge up in the work zone that we've had some issues maintaining, and it washed away last night in the heavy rain. So we've had to put that back today and get that done. They're moving down, I think they're down around your house now, aren't they, Jeff? Close to you. They're right on time with that, and should be finished with that whole project, we hope, by the end of July is the completion date on that. The West Ridgeway Street water line project, they are off of Ridgeway Street now. They have made the turn and gone up 5th Street. You saw them up there yesterday, and today they're prepping at the bridge to do their tie-in at the bridge on Friday. And we're going to do wet taps. We're going to actually have to cut the water off to the county for a few hours, but we're going to do wet taps so that we don't put the county in that position of maybe not having enough water to hold them through the day. And then once they do the tie-in at the bridge, they will come up and they'll tie in at 5th Street. Once that's done, we'll be ready to pressure test that line and do the bacteriology on it, and then come back and start hooking up the laterals off of that line.
Is that what they're doing today at the bridge?
Yes.
Down in?
No, getting ready to tie in. Getting ready to tie in. Once they've completed their tie-ins this week, the next thing you'll see going on Ridgeway Street is they will be removing the gravel from the trench where they backfilled it temporarily after they put the water line in, and they will be putting in the base for the asphalt to be put on, paving to be put on top of that. It's being done to VDOT standards. The asphalt mix that's going to be used is VDOT's mix like they use on the interstate. Once they get the base into the ditches, Franson is scheduled to be here, depending on his schedule and how the weather treats him, to start our paving either the 1st or 2nd week in June. And the first part of the paving that he's going to do is going to be Ridgeway Street. I don't know which end of Ridgeway Street he's going to start on, but he envisions that project being about a 2-week job for him from start to finish, from Roxbury Street to the town limits. And we also have entered into an initial agreement with Columbia Gas, doing the same thing with them that Covington has done, and that is we're going to supplement what they would normally pay for their utility cut repairs and pave the streets that they've impacted gutter to gutter instead of patchwork on those streets also. They're going to pay the town what they would normally pay for their paving company to do that, and then we're going to supplement the rest of that with our paving money that we have left for the spring. So we're going to get a much better finished product with that, much better end result. The Jefferson School, thank you for accepting that tonight, and what that does for us now is it clears the way for us to move forward for the performance agreement to be signed between the town and the developers, and once that's done, we can more consistently move forward with that project, and they can start really into their due diligence process with that. Hopefully, if things go well on that project, by this time next year or shortly thereafter, they would have boots on the ground actually working on the building. So, Maria has started working with Brian Hill at Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission on the strategic plan for the town of Clifton Forge. They're very early in the stages of that and discussions on that, but if you remember, that's one of the things that came from the Planning Commission's amendments to the comprehensive plan, that our next step would be to develop a strategic plan for the town. Council will be involved in this process, and Maria will be reaching out to you to incorporate as that's needed to be done. And like I said, it's very early. They've just started talking about that, but that is something that is very much needed for the town as we progress forward. Flower pots are hung. They really look nice this year. They probably won't have to water them tonight, but they did a really nice job for us this year. We didn't lose any of them to the frost because they held them at the greenhouse until it was well past the frost. Most of you know that we were supposed to start our bad building inventory today. Obviously, we postponed that because of the weather. It is rescheduled for next Thursday, the 22nd, meeting at 9 a.m. at the Masonic Theater. There will be some refreshments and things there, and it's going to run until about 1 or 1:30. And the reason that they did it in the morning instead of in the afternoon was to free us up so we could go to the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission meeting in Roanoke at 3 o'clock on that day. The representatives from West Virginia and DEQ will be here to work with us and guide us through that process. Anybody who is able to be there that day that would like to volunteer or be involved in that, please feel free to come down and join us as we walk around and take pictures and make notes about properties in town. The town's been divided into 4 different zones for review, and ultimately when this is complete, every building in town will have been reviewed and inventoried, residential and commercial. Maria has submitted the branding grant so that we can proceed with that once she gets approval for that. When does that grant close that you should hear from it?
It will close April 15th, and we should hear back hopefully sometime in June or July. So
So that
pretty
we
quick turnaround.
can move forward on that. Fridays in the Forge and Downtown Market, we already talked about that. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a great year with both of those events. We did make one change to the schedule for Fridays in the Forge, and that is the last one in September will be a daytime afternoon event, and that will be the day that we have invited the wrestlers to be back in town and make an afternoon event of that. So, the budget's finished. It's available for anybody that wants to review it, look over it. We will be having our first public hearing on that at our June meeting, which is June 10th. It will be in the paper, advertised in the paper, starting the end of this month and then early in June. And again, council's had access to it since the 22nd of April. So we're pretty satisfied with the budget. I think it's a good budget. And we're ready to move forward with that. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.